Hey everybody, welcome to the video and welcome to the channel. Some more news and updates here as far as selling online, reselling goes. We have temporary increase for the 2024 holiday season from USPS. So we'll definitely look at that. I'm getting this information off Pirate Ship. I got an email just recently. But first, let's please like the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you want to continue to see this content, comment down below, and hit the bell notification. But let's go ahead and get into this. So USPS, it's primarily where I ship my items through. I know there's UPS, FedEx as well too. Larger packages, you can sometimes get a better deal at UPS shipping those out. However, a word of warning, I have heard a lot of horror stories, I guess, regarding recalculating the shipping costs from UPS and FedEx. Now, most recently, a local reseller had a $1,600 charge from UPS. So they recalculated what the dimensions were and the weight were of his package, and they charged $1,600. Now, they just take that money right out. There's no like, hey, you know what? We realize you did this wrong, and can you please clarify? No, they take the money out. So he was out $1,600 for a little while till he got that sorted out. And I hear a lot, maybe not to that extreme, but I have heard quite a bit, you know, or I've heard a lot of issues with these other shippers. Not so much USPS. It does happen. It has happened to me. Nothing very, very significant. A few dollars here and there. Knock on wood, of course. But it does happen. So it is something to be aware of. Make sure you keep an eye on things and getting these taken care of. Okay, so USPS, and we're going to look at ground advantage, weight-based increases, and cubic increases. So, right off the bat, October 6th, that's because it's coming Sunday. So if when you're sending out your packages coming Monday, depending on when you print that label. If you print it out Saturday, you might still get that lower cost. But if you print out your weekend packages on Sunday and or Monday, like I do, then these increases should be reflected on those labels. And then it will go until January 19th, so it does bleed into 2025, the first 3 weeks, and then it'll return back to what the new normal was based on the last increase. But don't, just sit back and rest on your laurels, because this may be the new increase when they increase rates again next year. So we could be seeing, the same price hikes. All right. But let's get into it here. So weight. So first, with the weight-based ground advantage, we have 0 to 3 pounds, an increase of 30 cents in zones 1 through 4. Then an increase of 35 cents in zones 5 through 9. And I'll explain the zones a little bit for those of you guys that are not familiar with it. I have the information on my phone. I pulled it up just because I don't necessarily want to rely on my memory, because sometimes I do get things wrong. So when I do that, so I'll get the right information here on zones. Okay, 4 pounds to 10 pounds. We have an increase of 45 cents in zones 1 through 4, a 75-cent increase in zones 5 through 9. Now, this is where most of my packages will fall into. They actually will fall into the 0 to 3 pound range. The majority, and then, there are quite a few that also do fall into that 4 to 10 pound range. So not too significant, but it can have a psychological effect. If it crosses certain barriers, such as if it goes from originally being like $9.50, crosses over to over $10, that could cause buyers to pause and think about it for a little while. While it's not an incredible increase, it could have a psychological effect on if they're gonna purchase your item or not, or maybe shoot your best offer to account for the increase in cost in shipping. Okay, now 11 pounds to 25 pounds, we have a 75-cent increase in zones 1 through 4, and a $1.25 increase in zones 5 through 9. Then 26 pounds to 70 pounds, we have a $3 increase in zones 1 through 4, and a $5.50 increase in zones 5 through 9. Now, the cubic increases are 0.3 cubic feet, 30-cent increase in zones 1 through 4, and a 35-cent increase in zones 5 through 9. 0.4 cubic feet, we have a 41-cent increase, and then in zones 1 through 4, and then zones 5 through 9, 62-cent increase. Then zero point 0.5 to zero point 0.9 cubic feet, we have a point. I'm sorry, we have a 45-cent increase in zones 1 through 4, and then a 75-cent increase in zones 5 through 9. 1 cubic foot, we have a 48-cent increase in zones 1 through 4. I'm mincing my words here. And then a 80-cent increase in zones 5 through 9. Again, I'm pulling this information from Pirate Ship. And then there is obviously increases in priority mail. We won't get into that because we don't really use priority mail that much. And if you can get away without using priority mail, this may affect other places like Poshmark and Mercari and whatnot that utilize those platforms. Definitely look this information up, and you'll find all the details on USPS or on Pirate Ship, which is where I'm getting my information from, because they emailed me. And then the other one that I use pretty often, is flat rate padded envelopes. There will be a 50-cent increase, temporary increase, on all flat rate envelopes. So definitely take that into consideration. This will push this up over, I think it's $8.95 right now, if I remember correctly. I don't think I've shipped anything with them recently, but that should push it up, around close to $9.50. It'll probably be $9.45 is what we're looking at there. So definitely take consideration. Small flat rate boxes increase of 50 cents. Medium flat rate increase of 85 cents. And a large flat rate is an increase of $1.20. Okay, now the zones. Let me just explain the zones really quick for you guys. So you have that information because it's not, not always quite clear what the zones are, but for clarity here. Okay, zone 1. Now the zones are so the zones are based on distance from where you are at and where your package is going. Okay, so zone 1, and obviously it gets more expensive the further you go. So zone 1 is 1 to 50 miles. Zone 2 is 51 to 150 miles. Zone 3 is 151 to 300 miles. Zone 4, 301 to 600. Zone 5 is 601 to 1,000 miles. Zone 6 is 1,001 to, I just got cross-eyed for a second, to 1,400 miles. And Zone 7 is 1,401 miles to 1,800 miles. And then Zone 8 is 1,801 miles or greater. Now, Zone 9 is U.S. territories, and there will be some military addresses, such as, Guam. I do get Guam from time to time. That's Zone 9. And so Zone 9 obviously is going to be your greater cost because it's obviously going to be traveling to further areas that are quite far. So those are the different zones. Pretty, easy, just, pretty simple, easy. It's not like anything that complicated, just, you really don't need to memorize it at all. If you just put the appropriate information in eBay, your origin, where your packages are originating from, and you use calculated shipping, then it automatically calculates it, so you don't really need to worry about it. Maybe you do need to worry about it if you're doing a flat rate. I know some flat rate people will charge the maximum amount for, they'll take the weight. Like if it's 2 pounds, then they'll be like, all right, we're automatically going to charge whatever it is for Zone 8, so that way they keep their costs covered. But if you're using calculated, really don't have to worry about it. It's all handled by eBay and USPS. So that's what I do. I do calculated. Otherwise, here's the information here. Definitely something to be aware of. Don't get shocked when you start to print out your labels on Sunday or Monday. That this is the reason. It is a temporary increase, again, until the 19th of January 2025. But increases will be happening all the time. It's just a way of life, and we have to deal with it. But thank you guys for watching. Again, please hit the thumbs up to like the video and subscribe if you want to continue to see this content.